If you're like me, you probably spent a lot of your life basically living in fear. Fear that a diet won't work. Fear of just not being part of society. Fear of just simply not blending in at school. And fear of what will happen in the future. So in this video, we just want to have a few thoughts for people that's going through this sort of emotional turmoil in your life, just to let you know is that you're not alone. There's other people suffering and in exactly the same position as what you are.
The We Can't Spell Success Without You How Plan Project presents
Lose weight fast. Lose 17 pounds of body fat in 5 weeks without using a traditional diet.
The fear of obesity. In the young and old. Weight gain with failed diets. Resulting in no escape. Until now.
So from my personal experience, and there's videos about it, is that when I was young, I just had this position where every time I wanted to lose weight, I simply couldn't. I personally became aware of it probably about 8 years old, where you suddenly felt as though, I'm a bit of a big lad. Everybody else is running around. At the time, I suffer from asthma, so everybody's enjoying sports and doing what they want to do, where meanwhile, I'm just the overweight lad who's really struggling, really having bad times with asthma. And that's where, after speaking to parents, it actually came out is that I was in a position where when I was 1 stone, when I was 2, I was 2 stone, and it carried on. And surely at this time, when I was 8 stone. And the question was what to do about it. Now, I was kind of semi-aware, and obviously we're speaking to the doctors were concerned, and what we wanted to do was just get the weight down. And I think that's where my problems kind of became a reality. How I felt about it was just simply, why am I so different? Why is that other people can just get on with life? They're not really that bothered. It's not a problem to them. And then as you get older, you approach your teens, we've still got a problem with weight. It's 13 stone. It's getting ridiculous. And, everybody starts courting. Everybody starts going out with each other. Everybody goes from friends to boyfriend and girlfriend. And everybody just wants to either have the dream of following something where it's physical, quite, doing sports, doing running, whatever it is that that person really enjoys and wants to benefit from and make a maximum point. But yet you're still the kid in my situation, and possibly yours, where that weight still won't come off. It still restricts you doing things. And the only thing what you seem to get is a lack of confidence. I'm not going to ask a girl out. I'm not going to join into the sports because I'm just going to make a fool of myself. And equally, the restrictions of actually doing things that you dream about. It could be just winning scoring a goal in a football game. That could be a personal dream, but yet you've kind of shy away from it dramatically because you just don't want to be picked for the team because you're overweight. The chances are is that you ain't going to score that goal. That every single other lad is just going to nick the ball off you anyway. So what's the point of embarrassing yourself? And that's when you're younger. And the biggest fear when you're younger is this condition going to carry on forever? Is there a way of stopping this? Trying different diets don't work. Trying to be more active doesn't work. And you can find yourself in a rut very, very quickly when you get your 20s or 30s. It sometimes happens is that the only alternative is surgery, which once again causes another fear. It really does feel like a no-win situation. And what makes it worse throughout your early life, your teens, your 20s, is that you're out and people will mimic you, people will still call you, they'll still have a dig about your weight, which is obviously an issue. It obviously that's people's motivation, and it equally causes such things like depression. But to other people, that doesn't really matter. You're just the guy who texted on the chin, or the girl that texted on the chin. You always have done, so, it's just a bit of banter. But sometimes, is it?
Obesity in the younger population. Accepted causes. Lack of exercise. A poor fatty and sugary diet. Gluttony. Overlooked causes. Undetected medical condition. Parents overfeeding babies causing stomach stretching. Inherited DNA that determines overall body mass and body structure before being born. Unaccepted self-image leading to depression and comfort eating. Impacts of obesity in the younger population. Not feeling part of the community. Avoidance of relationships. Dreading participation in sports. Lifetime dreams abandoned due to confidence issues. Verbal victimization. Physical victimization. Exclusion from group activities. Undetected depression and/or anxiety. Fears. No diet will ever work. Will I be alone? Or settle for an unstable relationship for life? Personal health damage due to obesity over time. Medical treatments in teen life.
And when you get older, you've got very much the same situation, is that you reach your 50s and you start putting on a few pounds. You might have an office job and you're not as active as what you should be, or you're still continuing trying to do diets for the first time, or doing diets that used to work in the past, and then you find that they don't. And once again, you find yourself in a rut. But this time it seems to be not an image thing and not a confidence thing, but simply a health thing. A thing where if you don't change this, if you don't lose weight, which is really generally very difficult to do on diets, is that you'll be faced with certain cancers creeping in. You'll be faced with possible heart disease, heart attack, stroke, or you could even be faced with, general obesity death. Things like starting with pneumonia because there's extra fluid on your lungs, just because you're not as active as you used to be, and you can't be as active as you used to be because you're overweight. So that just simply becomes a fear of death, a fear of how long have we got left here, a fear of how long can we actually support the family. And it is a morbid thing, and this is not really spoke about. People's far better coming forward to say, haha, there's the fat, whatever. But, if you start saying, oh, well, I've got these problems and I'm really finding it difficult and I need counselling or I need help, but what I need really is something that works, you don't really hear those conversations. So, it's difficult.
Obesity in the older population. Accepted causes. Lack of exercise. Poor diet. Comfort eating. Diagnosed medical condition. Diagnosed mental health condition other than obesity. Medical treatments. Overlooked causes. Exclusion from the community. Loneliness. Depression or anxiety. Verbal victimization. Pressure in groups when attending dieting classes. Marriage or widow issues. Financial issues. Reduced body function leading to being less active. Impacts of obesity in the older population. Not feeling part of the community. Avoidance of relationships. Verbal victimization. Depression and/or anxiety. Fears. Adult weight reduction surgery. Weight reduction being difficult due to being psychologically damaged. Worry of dramatic weight loss due to illnesses such as cancer. Further weight gain causing heart disease, stroke and diabetes type 2 health conditions. Failing medical treatment for conditions that can be improved by weight reduction. Premature death.
So once again, I've been in this situation. I decided to do something different. We wrote the power plan book. Only thing I can say, if this video relates to you, have a think about buying it. Have a sneak read on the internet. You can do that on Amazon, you can do that on our website. Just have a think about doing something different. Change your life regardless of age. In my situation now, I'm in my 50s. What's going to get me? More than likely heart. Still on heart tablets from my dad. Cholesterol related. It's inherited. Can't do anything about it. So losing weight will help that condition. Even though, things like cancer scars and things, people just starting with cancer from nowhere, really gets to you. I've had people in the family what's died of cancer. So, and the first thing what happens is that you lose your weight. So you, personally, I'm back into this situation. Do you lose weight, which you might need if you ever suffer from cancer? Or do you lose weight, which is going to help the heart condition, where you're already on tablets? And my only conclusion at this moment in time is lose it because of the tablets and because of the heart.
General medical conclusion. Obesity is due to a poor lifestyle, gluttony and lack of exercise. Diet and exercise to be encouraged. Prescribe medication such as Orlistat, weight loss pill. Health trainer providing dietary advice and psychological support to help change the way you think about food and eating.
The only thing I can say is that if you're in this position, and certainly open up, talk about weight issues, talk about the way you're feeling because of weight.
Society support. Charity organizations to support severe obesity where it is not caused by a lack of self-control. Mind. Obesity UK. More than a number.
And when people do have a dig at you, even in your 50s, I had a guy even shouting over from the car the other day, just saying, "Oh, you're fat, dink, get out the way," or whatever. Why are you driving? Some 18-year-old lad. He didn't mean any harm of it, just having a laugh in the car. To them, it's a bit of banter. To me, it's like, oh, well, we're back to childhood situation in your 50s, and where's your respect for people? Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. If you are suffering from this sort of thing, because even if you don't want to talk to anybody else, even just having a comment there, or a private email, perhaps we can have a chat, perhaps we can help. Think about looking at the book, and if not, at least you're not on your own. At least there's other people like me in exactly the same boat who also struggles. And, life is cruel. But with what we do on this channel, it always provides hope.
Power Plan support. We provide a healthy, easy-to-do lifestyle change that avoids commercial diet principles, special dietary food, attending weight loss classes, medical obese treatments, high impact and excessive activity such as gyms, running, jogging and swimming. Instead, we provide 17 hard-to-break habits that encourages private weight loss at home, controlled daily calorie intake of food, eat your favorite meals by purchasing a better brand or simply making the meal at home, increase daily water intake, avoidance of processed and ultra-processed food, alternatives to deep-fried foods, encouragement to eat fat-burning meals and superfoods, discouragement to eat foods that are difficult for the body to digest, suppression of hunger pangs, low impact and relaxed instant exercise for 1 hour per day over 5 to 7 days. Goals that can easily be achieved and will improve your confidence and weight issues. Personal weight impact. Weight loss at around 2.63 pounds per week depending on the person. Slow weight gain. If the power plan is stopped, an average person would expect to gain 0.63 pounds per week. This avoids yo-yo weight issues that occur when using a commercial diet. The benefits that we provide. General health vastly improves. Permanent weight loss while using the power plan. An escape from diabetes type 2. Higher personal immunity. Higher resistance to cancer. Relief from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Relief from asthma. Improved heart function by lowering cholesterol. Lowered blood pressure. Reduced depression and anxiety. Beautified skin and hair. Increased personal confidence.
What I'll be doing and what I'll be covering in the next few weeks is our plan, doing it properly this time, which is good. Weeks 1 to 5, let's see how much weight we can lose, let's see what we're eating, and let's see what the outcome is.
Week 0. Power plan preparation.
About a year ago, I did a naughty week. Basically, let's use some habits from the book, but let's eat poorly, let's have a lot of takeouts, and let's see what happens. And what happened at that point was weight was lost. Interestingly, since the naughty weeks have been completed, the weight stayed around the same for the last year. It's generally I'm just about 18.5 stone, which for me is really, really good. I feel comfortable at that weight, even though many people will argue, well, you're really overweight, even why do you have a book? But at that time, that's the way that I felt. What I really enjoyed myself, but it showed is that, putting this power plan under stress, is that it is actually possible to lose weight. So what I wanted to do was proper weeks, which was taking the book far more seriously. And that's what this set of videos is actually about. But now it is time to do the proper weeks, and we're going to start with week 0. So step 1, really dead simple: get the book and read it. I'm going to read through this as well because it's just a good refresher. I think over time, once you've used it, you kind of remember easily what you have to do. A lot of the habits are habits, so you do them automatically. It's always worth another quick read, simply because some of the habits may drop off, and just by a quick refresh, it's really, really good. Plus also it contains food diaries and weight charts and things like that. So step number 1 is read the book. Step number 2 for me, which I found really helpful, is getting the second book, which is particularly for weight control. And what this allows you to do is look at what sort of foods that you're currently eating, that sort of thing. You can have a look down the list and highlight what you're eating. So for example, if you had a Muller light Greek style lemon yogurt pot, that comes in at 90 calories. However, by going for something like gluten-free, fat-free Greek style, it's 67.5 calories. So a nice little tool that you can use. You can even take that out when you're shopping, and you can easily buy much better products for weight loss than trying to remember what the best product is. Of course, what you can do as well is go onto the website wecan'tspellsuccesswithoutyou.com, which is easily found by searching nadiet.info on Google, and all of these charts in effect are available for free for download. You can actually look at those, go through your shopping list and create a better version. But them are the 2 books I'm going to use for this, which is Silver Edition of We Can't Spell Success Without You Power Plan, and the 2019 Weight Control Canvas's brand, the book. And the only reason, like I say, it's far easier when you're in the supermarket. So the second thing, or the second tool that we're going to use, is scales. Now if you look at the naughty weeks, what I did was use these scales. And these are great because you stand on them without anything on your feet, and these little silver areas here monitors your entire body, tells you how much muscle you're gaining, how much muscle you've lost, what water retention you've got, what your fat is, etc, etc. Now this was used and showed really good results on the naughty weeks, but some people may have thought that that would have been a little bit too complicated. So for these weeks, I'm going to use these, which is just traditional scales. You just stand on it, tells you your weight there, and that's it, it's done. So tool number 2, scales. Tool number 3 is simply spreadsheets. So what we need to do is go onto the We Can't Spell Success Without You.com website again and click on the download areas. So what you need to do is just do diet.info. This takes us to our website, We Can't Spell Success Without You. And what we need to do is go into the downloads area. And in the downloads area, the things that we want is the new 2018 calorie counter. There's the BMRI. Open that. and then don't worry about it for the moment. Let's just save it somewhere in a safe place. And back to the website, and the second thing that we want is the £2 line. We'll click on there. I'm going to go for the 24-week one, which is cycle 2. And once again, that gives you a spreadsheet. Don't worry about it for now. Once again, just save it somewhere safe on the computer. Finally, click on downloads. And the third thing that we need is the daily food planner. So click on that, and that's what we get. Save it somewhere safe, and we have the downloaded tools, which is good. So next what we want is a tool which we can put on our phones, which is just a pedometer. This is going to just simply count the number of steps that we walked every day, and they're free. Just go on to Google Play or whatever service that you do, type in pedometer. Download one of the apps, they all do the same sort of thing, and that will tell you the number of steps. Or you can use a wearable device. You've seen it before. I've got the good old watch, and that tells me how many steps I've done each day. The Galaxy Gear is now going to monitor how many steps we do, how much energy we're going to burn off each day. What we need to do is monitor how much energy we're actually going to intake or eat each day, and this is simply done. I've got the watch, so obviously I've got Samsung Galaxy Gear. This is downloadable. Once it's installed, it allows you to enter your food. So you can just nip to the cupboard, grab something and type in what that product is, and it'll come back with how much calories it is, etc. Save it for dinner or whatever. A slight difference, well, so that was used in naughty weeks. I'm going to use something different in the proper weeks, which is using MyFitnessPal. So in MyFitnessPal, the only thing we need to do is go and grab the food out the cupboard, and it has a little barcode reader. So you just get the barcode, scan it, and it tells you what that food is. You've already said, I want to add a food for dinner, lunch or whatever. It's far easier, it's far quicker. You have an option to pay monthly for this. As far as I can tell, it doesn't monitor steps. If that monitors steps, it'd be a great tool, but it's a really good tool when you want to log food. Everybody hates doing it. At least if you use the barcode, boom, you're done within seconds. It's great. So we have our tools, so obviously the first thing to do is start reading the book. Become familiar with the habits, become familiar with the, if you like, science behind it. It's all 100% natural. It's just a case of changing the way that you think, and the book is written in a fashion where if you read it from page to page, it will kind of drop into your subconscious. The second thing that we need to do is go to our calorie counting spreadsheets that we downloaded. And what we want to do is just simply fill this in. So we want to put in our name, Steve E. Steps, male. You have a little drop down menu here, so you can select male or female, MRF. Height, 5 foot 6. I know I'm not the tallest, but there we go. So 5 foot 6. Age in years, 51. And then we hit, what do we want to do? Lose or gain weight. I want to lose weight. And at this point, we end up with the scary point. What you have to do, have a look, see what you're wearing at this moment in time, have a look to see what time it is, and go and weigh yourself. If at this moment in time it's just an awkward time, then basically think of a time that you're going to remember. Is it when Coronation Street finishes? Is it when you get up in the morning? Is it just after breakfast in the morning? Is it after you put the kids to bed? You find a time that you can weigh yourself at that point every single week, and also monitor the clothes that you've got on. Make sure that you wear the same thing. No cheating. So we jump on the scales, and like I say, we have been in lockdown, so there's a little chart here, and you can tell that the weights kind of dropped and then fluctuated over a few weeks, which has been really good. But then we can't exercise that much, we've got to stay in. It got to a point where the body kind of goes, I've had enough of this, something's gone wrong, I'm storing. It's going to lead to massive weight gain post the coronavirus, and as we can tell here, that the weight spiked. So when I weigh myself, I've discovered that I am currently 19 stone 2, which is about, half a stone heavier than what I want to be. I could feel it coming on. Like I say, it's spiked. 19 stone 2 gives you 268 pounds. And what it's saying is that really you should be eating around 1,804 calories. But don't worry about it. What we want to do at this point is save that, because that's our start point for the plan. That's week 0. So the next thing to do is open the £2 line. This has 2 tabs, point information and the £2 line itself. And what we need to do is just put in our start weight or week 0 weight in pounds. And we've just said that was 19 stone 2. If you can't remember it, put that back in here. 268 pounds. And that's our start record. Save that spreadsheet, forget about it, we're done. So the next thing that we have is our daily food planner or food log. And this, as we can see, is broken down into breakfast, morning snack, dinner or lunch, afternoon snack or snacks, and evening meal, evening snacks. There's a lot of opportunity there for food. The best thing to do with this is print it if you can, or save it and fill it in line, and concentrate really on the food names. That's all I want to know. If you've actually got a app like MyFitnessPal installed, that's going to work out your calories, saturated fat. The purpose of week 0 is to start writing down what food that you're actually eating, so therefore you can start to think about it. When we come to week 1, not really doing anything, is that you can have a look to see if your weight's gained or reduced. And if it's gained, what we can do is have a look at this log and say, you know, how could I have done things better? That's all what it's for in week 0. It's just making you more aware of eating food. Equally, you may find it's like you put things in for breakfast and you have a few snacks in the afternoon. You might be sat there in the evening when, oh God, I'm starving, what can I have now? By looking at the food log, it can actually put you off a little bit. You think, oh cranky, I've had all that today. Should I or should I not? But apart from that, I won't worry about it. Just fill it in so you've got a rough idea of the sort of stuff that you're eating. Don't worry about the calorie count. Question is, do you stay the same? Do you lose weight? Do you gain weight in week 0? So what else can we do? Well, that's all the basics done. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of exercise, which is going to take the form of walking. So it's a great thing to do on week 0 is to see if you can plan routes. If you're quite big and you struggle with walking, start by simply walking around the garden. Or if you've got a drive, walk around the car, or simply walk to and from the house and just do little steps. But over the week, start thinking about a plan. If you, for example, a great way to do it starting is walking around the block on your estate. Just walk around it, see how you feel. If you feel a little bit breathless or you need to stop, don't worry about it. And then once you've completed the lap, give yourself a little bit of time and then walk again. And the more that you do this, the better that you'll feel. Start walking around the block. If you feel like you can do more, brilliant, get a map out or think of somewhere that you like to go. So you may want to go to the shop. Instead of jumping in the car, just walk there. Take your time, get there, get back. It's up to you what you want to do. Just start walking around the block and then venture further. Safely, but create little routes in your mind. Kind of have the short route, which is around the block, a medium route, which might be going to the shop and back, and then eventually we'll have long routes where you potentially can do all your exercise in 1 hour. And the long route could be just going around the block several times instead of just once or twice. Actually keep going.
Week 1. Shop Week Part 1.
Hello there and welcome to Proper Week 1. And the concept of this week is very, very simple. We have now read the book, and by doing that we should have realised that this isn't a diet at all. In fact, what it is a lifestyle change. So we'd have read the book, would have looked at all 17 habits, and hopefully started to prepare a little bit of a strategy so we can move forward into week 1. One of the first things that we can do in the strategy, like I said in week 0, is plan our walking routes. It can be just around the block. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be a long way away. Literally just walking around the block on week 1 will do fine. So the second thing that we should have done is created a food diary, and you know, it's just what you ate day by day, nothing to worry about it. Now comes the time really to do one of two things, or even both. One is to use something like Google or look at supermarket and simply type in the foods that you've been eating. Have a look, see how much calories are in each of the foods, and then just simply add them up. Then you're going to get a rough idea of how much you used to eating. The next thing, or an alternative thing, what we can do is look through the food. Now we know that healthier foods is fruit and veg. The really bad foods is processed food and ultra processed food. Some of the foods that are really good are actually home-cooked food. And if you look on nadiet.info, you will see back in the kitchen, and there's some ideas of cooking at home. It don't have to be a complete meal. That's designed really. You can look at each individual item and actually make something new, make something that's healthier. So go through the food list. So if you're having pie and chips, have a look at what the main food is. What's that treat? What's appealing in that food? If it's the pie, great. Do you really need the chips? Well, I love chips. Well, one thing what we don't need to do is be deprived on the plan. So if you half the amount of chips that you have, for example, put veg on instead. So you end up with chips, pie and veg. That's going to cut down the calories. So what we can do now is look through the diary and look at all the items that we've eaten each day, and have a look on the supermarket website, look up each item, and you'll find the amount of calories. Now the best thing to do is quite simply write down in each corner how much that came to, and then get a sum of calories for the day. And this is going to tell you over a 7-day period roughly how much you're eating. Now if you eat pretty consistently, it might be 2,500, 3,000 calories a day or more. And if you kind of binge eat one day and you eat little another day, then just simply balance it out. So add each day's figure together and divide it by 7, and that'll give you the average number of calories per day. The second part really is to look at each individual items, but the pie you couldn't do without. So we're going to keep the pie, and if you look on nadiet.info, click on downloads and click on brand versus brand, simply find pie. Looking down this list, look for your normal pie, say Hollands. Go back up the list and you'll see low calorie alternative, which is available from the supermarket. Buying this, you're going to save calories, therefore your weight will reduce, and that is doing absolutely nothing, just switching brand. And if you buy that brand and you don't like it, you can always try and get another brand. Just go for the next one down until you do find the one that you like. And it's as simple as that. So you're still eating pie, still eating chips. Hopefully you'll have veg. It's healthier anyway, but it's going to start reducing those calories down, and that's going to start leading to weight loss, which is what these videos are simply all about. And if you look on nadiet.info, then that'll take us back to the We Can't Spell Success Without You website. Click on downloads and then select goal list. And when you click on that, it will open another document. So what I want you to do is download this document, save it on your PC with all the other Week Zero stuff, and think of why you want to use this plan. Why do you want to change your lifestyle? It could be that you've got a wedding next year, want to look your best. Put it down as a goal. It could be that you've got a birthday party coming up. It could be absolutely anything that you can think of where you just want to look your best. You want to look, healthy, great. You just want to be there, feel like the centre of attention rather than feeling the way you feel now, because we're looking at changing your lifestyle by reducing your weight. So the first thing, which is already marked, is reduce weight using this power plan. Put in there how much weight you want to reduce. Could be 2 pounds, could be 10 pounds, could be a stone or 14 pounds. That is up to you. But when would you like to achieve this? So put the date in when you want to achieve it, a realistic date. Follow this by, if we're getting married next year, write down wedding. What weight would you want to be? Or how much weight do you want to lose? And simply put on the date of the wedding. And keep going down the list with as many items that you can think of, putting in the dates and in the weights that you'd like to be. You could even put other short-term goals in, like you're a size 18 but you love to be a size 14. Write it down. So once you've got all these goals listed, just revisit the list and have a look for a main target. So for example, lose weight with this power plan. I'd like to lose 2 pounds in a week. That'd be very nice. Could be a main target. That's down to how you feel. I want to go to the wedding next year and I want to lose 2 stone. That's a major event in your life. It's obviously a main target. Tick the main target box. And just put in as many short-term things that you can think of. And it's just a list that we can go back to when you're feeling a little bit down, or why am I doing this in the first place? You know, look at how much weight you've lost, and you will lose weight using this lifestyle. Look at how closer that you're getting to these goals that you want to achieve. And even once you've achieved it, tick it off. You know, if you put on reduce weight using this power plan and you want to reduce 2 pounds, tick it off. You've achieved it. Maybe you can cross the 2 pounds out and put 4 pounds because you feel comfortable and you'd like to lose a little bit more. That's up to you. But start filling this list with short-term goals. So as I've said before, that this is not a diet, it's a fitness plan. Doing this just about the rest of your life. Therefore, it will accommodate for long-term goals. What you need to think of, now think of your family history. Have you got heart disease in the history? Have you got cancer in the history? You know, these things are a worry to us. I've done a video recently where I was contemplating doing these proper weeks, and like I say, I like the idea of being overweight. I've known a lot of people that died from cancer. First thing what happens is that the weight drops off them, leaves them almost defenceless. But equally, I've got people in the family with heart issues, and I'm actually on heart-type medication and statin-type medication. And what I've got to do is sit down and think, none of us live forever. Let's reduce weight now, because that's going to help the heart condition which we're currently being treated for. And when you've got that heart condition under control, then that's a major goal. So think about what your long-term goals are. Short-term goals are what you want to achieve. Long-term goals are simply what you want to avoid. Put it on the goal list. You can download the goal list, we've already looked at that. Or if you've got the book, just fill it in. Just, you know, even have a glass of wine or something. Think of your heart of hearts and just write it down. This goal list throughout your life, you can refer back to it. You can see that you've achieved the short-term goals, and it's a good reminder of the long-term goals. And if you know that your resistance to cancer is improved by a blood test, if you know that your diabetes is now back to a normal level, and it was one of your goals not to be no longer diabetic, then that should be goal incentive enough to carry on with this plan forever. Simple as that. You know, it's 17 habits, it's not difficult. So, what do we do next? Well, it is time to start week 1. And it all begins by going onto the good old-fashioned scales. So last week we had a spreadsheet that we typed in our week 0 weight, which was 268 pounds. Now it's time to trundle off and go and weigh yourself at the same time as you did last week, on the same day, and wearing the same clothes. And what we want you to do is, once you've weighed yourself, come back here and either put in the pounds, or the kilograms, or the stone and pounds. By weighing myself, I am now 19 stone and 4 pounds. Now that's the week 1 start weight, so we'll pop that in there. So we zoom in a little bit. And what it's telling us is that with week 1, you're 270 pounds, which is 19 stone 4. Your target weight is 268, and we have got to do 10,000 steps. Don't panic over the 10,000 steps. In week 0, you've been planning routes, you've been practicing these routes. If you're going around the block, it just means going around the block a little bit more. You've got your pedometer or your phone, which is monitoring how many steps you do. Now you can do this first thing in the morning, have a couple of walks around the block, have something to eat, go for another little block walk. Just keep your eye on the pedometer, make sure that you can complete the 10,000 steps each and every day for the next 7 days. You might find it hard at first, but keep going, it will become easier, and just keep going around the block. What you find is that most people say keep constantly going around the block becomes really boring and it's terrible to do. What I found is that you get to a position where automatic pilot comes on, and you just kind of wander off as you're walking around this block, and you achieve it pretty quickly. But what we have to do now is revisit the BMI spreadsheet. Now we should also have this saved from last week. What I need to do now is put in the 19 stone 4, which is 270 pounds. And that tells me now that we have 1,816 calories each day allowed to eat whatever we want. Not forgetting it's not a diet, so we're not restricted on food. We're just restricted on the number of calories that we eat each day. Simple as that. It's a good old-fashioned way of doing things. So now what we need to do is once again revisit the website and go to the food planner. Now what I've done is created a new one. It's my daily food and exercise planner. We click on that. This is just an easier format of entering information. So what we're going to do, it starts off at week 1, you put your date in, number of calories that you want, what your target is, your start weight, the end weight would be a mystery and number of steps. And this is quite a nice little handy format now. So it's saying is that 270 pounds at the start of the week. We're in week 1, the target calories 816, make a note of that, don't forget it, and the target number of steps is 10,000. A lot of times around the block, will it be worth it? We'll soon find out. So as we go through the week now, the only thing we have to do is log the food day by day, using either a app where you can type the food in, or what I'm going to do is continue using MyFitnessPal. You've got the barcode scanner, which seems to be really handy. Try and make this as simple as possible, and once again hopefully you've been practicing those techniques on week 0. So off we go. So the big question is, what did we eat? So what I'm going to do is go through what I ate. Unlike the naughty weeks where I listed the items, we're going to show the items so you get a rough idea of the quantity and the type of food. So on Monday for breakfast, fruit and fibre. Then for dinner, 2 poached eggs with a tin of tomatoes and 2 toast. Then in the afternoon I felt a little bit hungry, as I would do, so I had meat and veg soup. Very nice, like a chunky veg type soup, it's very good. Then for the evening meal we had 2 chicken legs with mash and gravy. So once again the mash is kind of replacing chips. If you're into the KFC side of things, it's a little bit healthier. Now what I want to do with all of this is include gin and tonic as an evening drink, just as a point that you can do this with alcohol. You don't have to ditch alcohol either. So you're not ditching your food, so you're not ditching your favourite tipple at night. And that came in at 1,512 calories. Tuesday for breakfast it was muffin with scrambled egg, which was really nice. I think, it's week 1, you've got bread hanging around the house, so it's nice to get rid of it. Then for dinner it's pork loin with sprouts and onion gravy. Once again the pork loin was absolutely delicious, that was my main food, but the sprouts was kind of a filler. In the afternoon a cup of mulligatawny soup, instant powdered soup, very low in calorie, very nice, very spicy. Then for the evening meal it was just a salad consisting of lettuce, tomatoes, cottage cheese, cucumber, a little bit of lemon juice in there. So just a nice salad. But what I found interesting in this salad is that when I weighed it actually came to 1.5 kilograms or 1,500 grams, so it was it was a massive thing, and I probably have a fear that I'm going to get hungry at night at this point. So, it's kind of a food challenge. Gin and tonic coming to 1,335 calories, so quite low on that day considering the target. Wednesday, I had mushroom omelette using 2 eggs with another tin of tomatoes. For dinner, steak and cheese with jacket spud. Now, if you watch my jacket spud video, you can make these things in less than half an hour. Really healthy, really nice, really convenient, super quick food now because you can make them so quickly. However, in the afternoon I was feeling a bit pecky, so I had 2 lots of skips. Kind of went out shopping and thought, well, skips are good because they're about 70 to 80 calories per packet. So I bought a nice big bag just to munch on, and then I realised when I emptied them there's about 30 packets there. So that's going to be my filler snack for the afternoon if I want it. And then stuffed pork and cheese peppers. So this is getting a bell pepper, stuffing it literally with pork, having a little bit of cheese on the top. And what I decided to do is have gin and tonic today, but I also had a leftover bottle of extra dry. So I had a bit of that as well, and that took the calories up to 1,580. Thursday, I've come across this little thing called skinny marmalade. So it's part of the products, we do promote it now and again on the website. So 2 toasts with skinny marmalade, very nice. If you've not tried that stuff, give it a go. It is worth giving. It's nice. Potato pie, sprouts and gravy. So once again, we're having a pie, but no chips. Substitute the chips for sprouts. You're actually quite partial to sprouts. And it's a great idea to find a veg that you like, so you can use it as a filler in these ways. In the afternoon, 1 packet of skips, so obviously I'm becoming less hungry. And then in the evening, just a ready-made meal of liver bacon, mash, ketchup. Very nice, very healthy, very low in calories. Not everybody's taste. My daughter's ate liver. I absolutely adore it. And then after that dinner, I was kind of thinking, well, I've not had much fruit, so I'll have a banana. And then in the evening, finish off the extra dry and have a gin and tonic. And on that day, that came to 1,760 calories. Friday, love that skinny marmalade, so here we go again, skinny marmalade with toast. For dinner, jacket spud with cottage cheese and salad. So this time we're using the salad as the filler. Very nice, looks really healthy. No afternoon snack, that seemed to do the trick that day. And then in the evening, just made a chicken stir fry with the extra veg. The veg is really low in calories, so if you have extra veg, especially at night, you're just going to make sure that you're filled up quite nicely. And the thing about chicken stir fry is that if you use the sachets that you get from the supermarket, they can be quite calorific, especially the red dragon or the blue dragon ones. So anything what I've done with this is just used a not so cube, a chicken one, put a bit of water on the bottom, and that's created a lovely sauce. Now we're going to finish off with a gin and tonic. Now that was quite a lot of food, and that came to 1,817 calories, which is interesting. That is technically 1 calorie over the daily limit, but it's 1 calorie. So hopefully, you can let me off for that one. Saturday, we're just loving this skinny marmalade. And in week 1, the plan says avoid bread, but in week 1, it's shot week, so, you'll get away with it. Don't do it intentionally, but you will get away with it. Then for dinner, we went for a traditional breakfast, so it was egg, sausage, toast, tomatoes, mushrooms. Very, very nice. In the afternoon, 1 packet of skips. In the evening, pork loin with mash and sprouts again, which the pork loin was absolutely gorgeous. Really, really nice. And the mash and the sprouts are just really fillers rather than chips. And then finished that day off with gin and tonic, which was 1,526 calories. And then on the final day, Sunday, scrambled egg with homemade toast and tomatoes. So at this point, I think we've got a little bit conscious that we're buying processed bread, making your own healthier. It's smaller, it fills you up for a lot longer, so it's a good alternative than buying the bread. Dinner, I didn't feel particularly hungry, so I just had a packet of veggie straws. Meant to be good for you, hopefully it will be. And then in the evening meal, it was burger, cheese with veg and gravy. So a very nice meal, not diety at all. And then finished off with red wine and the gin and tonic. Now that came to 1,681 calories. So coming back to our food diary, which is now completed, we've listed all the foods and now we know how many calories was used each day. It's worth mentioning at this moment in time, if you've got the book, that liver tonic was used each night just before bed to help to restore and clean the liver, which will also help with weight loss. Now this is short week, so looking at this, looking at the number of steps, the target was 10,000, so Monday it was 10,003, Tuesday it was 10,019, just a little bit under on Wednesday, but kind of made up on Thursday where it was 10,851. Friday was 10,081 steps, Saturday was 10,177, and Sunday, which was 12,953. So looking at that, we have slightly failed there, because we went 1 calorie over, and we didn't quite get the step target in there, which was a little bit of a shame. So close, but you know, they're just marginal errors. It's if you hadn't bothered, I was like 3,000 calories over, it'd be really concerning. And this is short week, we've kind of gone from a lock-in. So the previous week to this, we was allowed out for 1 exercise session a day, which for me was probably about 2 laps around the block, and it had been like that for 2 months. At least now we can go out multiple times in a day, and that's the reason why we achieved the 10,000 steps, just simply because of the lock-in change of rule regarding exercise, which has made this possible. So once again, just to summarise it for the video, this was week 1. We had 1,816 calories as a target, failed that on Friday by 1 calorie, and we had 10,000 steps, and we failed that just by about just over 800 steps on Wednesday. So generally speaking, not a bad week. So I would say that wasn't a bad week at all, and I'm quite pleased that I managed to get the 10,000 steps in every day, and a little bit disappointed that I missed that by 1 calorie. But that's not going to break the bank. It's that's fine. But it's like anything else. This is week 1. We already know that our target is 2 pound weight loss this week. So what we have to do now is jump on the scales and see what the damage is. Now know that the new weight is 18 stone 12. So going back to our 2 pound line, we can pop that as the start weight of week 2. As 18 stone 12 comes to 264 pounds in weight. And there we go. So that is a weight loss of 6 pounds. Now that 6 pound weight loss isn't that bad considering all the food that I've had. That's a pretty good start. And finally, nipping back to the 2 pound line, we see a generated graph. Now the blue is our current weight, and the line going across is the target. That's a 2 pound target. And what we can see there clearly is that we are under that target. So that was an extremely successful week 1. You know, I have no complaints with that. And because everything's been recorded, I've actually got the diet sheet, or the amount of food that I've eaten every single week as a record. And I felt later on that I'm struggling, what I could do is simply repeat that week, because I've got a full record of it, which is a wonderful thing. So that's pretty much it for this video. I'm just going to record my afterthoughts to this week, but we look forward to looking at week 2. See if I'm going to make any mistakes. I probably will. So I plan to run this for the initial 6 weeks as we did with the naughty weeks. If you've not watched that video, it's available on YouTube. But, you know, that was a very, very, very good week 1. So reflecting back on week 1, how do I feel? I was a little bit niffed off that I hadn't done the steps on the Tuesday. Oh no, sorry, this was Wednesday. And that was simply because we've been used now to lazing around for about 8 weeks, not really doing much while we've had COVID. And I was just tired. And I remember it well, I just sat there Tuesday night. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and I thought, well, if I get one more lap of the block in, that's it, that's done, I've got my 10,000 steps. And I decided just to have a 2-minute lie down, just watching something, and the next thing I know, it had gone 12. It weren't an intentional not hit the 10,000 steps. It was just simply, I was just tired. We suddenly hit 10,000 steps on day 1, and day 2, it was like, I fell asleep. The liver tonic was great, you know, it's this capsule format. If you've got the book, it tells you where to get all the ingredients from anyway. It's 100% natural, but we are hoping is that by the time this video comes out, that liver tonic's available, even if it's only available on eBay. So that was good. The stomach tonic I didn't use every day. Now I do remember Monday feeling really hungry in the evening. Now don't forget, we've been in a position where we've had limited exercise, and in the evening we've got the worry about COVID, the worry about working from home, and a complete brand new way of life. So it's not surprising that you eat the crisps, you eat the biscuits, you eat the wine, you eat any sort of comfort that you can get. So on Monday, coming out of that, and in effect going, I've hit my target calories, I am absolutely starving. What do I have food-wise? Now looking back, this is an ideal situation to bring in stomach tonic, which I didn't use at all in week 1, and that suppresses the appetite. Instead, what I decided to do was just drink water, because equally, with doing so many steps, if you're feeling thirsty to the point of dehydration, that can be misinterpreted as actually you're hungry. You're hungry. So what I did was use water. It kind of subsided that, oh, I really am starving. And for the rest of the week I was fine. That was the only day when I really felt hungry, probably more dehydrated, but it would have been better to get the stomach tonic in as recommended. However, you know, it was a 6-pound weight loss. That for me, I cannot complain at all. It's pretty good. It gives me more confidence this week because using the MyFitnessPal app, I'm still a little bit sceptical if that works or if it's accurate, but it seemed to have done the trick because just about everything that I had in this week was done via MyFitnessPal. So I'd have to conclude it was a great week. Not been to a gym, walking around is far easier than, you know, doing expensive exercise as I go on about in the book. Equally, I haven't really been hungry apart from that Monday. So I would say a very good week. So thank you for watching, and roll on week 2. Let's see what happens there. It'll be out next week and I'm looking forward to it. Looking at the week 1 diary, you can tell that's kind of a little bit, you know, I'm not going to eat that much at the start of the week and the calories seem to increase gradually. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in week 2. Will I find it hard to keep at that level, or will it be a case of I mess it up? I don't know.
Week 2. Shop Week Part 2.
Now, we had a very successful proper week 1 last week, losing £6. It was brilliant. However, my thoughts on week 2 is that we're losing liver tonic. Now, it is optional, it does maximise weight loss, and you only run it for week 1. So for week 2, there's no liver tonic. So that's kind of a safety net gone a little bit. However, we have got the stomach tonic if we need it. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. As we left it last week is that we've just been reweighed at 18 stone 12, but quite a significant weight drop. So the first thing what we need to do is go back to the BMI calculator and we can update it with the new weight. What we know is that my personal weight is still 18 stone 12 pounds, which is fine. That comes in at 264 pounds. Last week it was 270 and we had 1,816 calories. So we need to change the 270 to 264 and that now tells us we've got 1,781. Now we've lost 6 pounds in weight. The challenge is the next time you go to the supermarket, look for a kilo of sugar. A kilo of sugar is around 2.2 pounds. If you lift 3 of those, if you've lost 6 pounds, if you've lost 4 pounds and lift 2 of those, and if you've lost 2 pounds, just lift the single one and feel how much weight is there. And that's how much weight we are no longer carrying around. So therefore, our bodies are not going to work overtime as they did last week because we've got that less weight. So therefore, we don't need as much food. So the calories do get reduced to 1,781. Even if we go back to the £2 line, we'd already filled in the 264 there, so we don't need to do that. So what we do need to do is create a new diary sheet. So if we download it off the internet, or simply copy the one that we had last week and just zeroise out all the food and update the header. So mine looks like this, which is week to 18th of May, calorie target 1,781, start week 264 pounds, end weight we don't know yet, and as we've just seen on the £2 line, the step target is 10,000. So we've got a nice big diary to fill in here, so the best thing to do is start eating. So on Monday I had cheese on toast with homemade bread, so I'm keeping the theme is that we made homemade bread. There is a video about, watch it if you want to make your own, it's really nice. But cheese on toast with homemade bread, very nice start to the week. Roast gammon, cauliflower cheese with roast spuds and mixed veg. Now this is a very lean gammon, it was just simply cooked in the oven, roasted. A lovely little thing. Then in that afternoon I kind of felt like celebrating a little bit, so for snacks I had the old skips. These packets are going down nicely. But I also decided to have bananas and custard, and once again there's another video out on how to make that. Making it at home rather than getting it in a tin if you can is a lot more healthier. Then for lunch it was beef ravioli on toast. And keeping the theme back from week 1 and the fact that you can take alcohol when you're losing weight, we went for a gin and tonic. That came to 1,672 calories. Tuesday for breakfast, porridge oats with milk and skinny syrup. Now we've used the skinny marmalade last week for the toast for breakfast, so a bit of syrup this week, give it a try. It was actually very nice. And of course porridge is meant to be good for people who have cholesterol issues, as I do. So moving on for lunch, it was a tin of chunky chicken with veg. So once again, the veg is there again, it's healthier. It's a good substitute for roast potatoes or chips, things like that. In the afternoon, 1 packet of skips. And then in the evening, it was a nice little salad. I had a salad last week, so this week I decided to have a boiled egg salad with lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, bit of garlic mayo, olive and gherkins or pickles. But it was very nice to have. It's been warm recently over in the UK. It's just a nice refreshing little tea, as we say. Followed by gin and tonic, which came to 1,596 calories. Wednesday was scrambled eggs with bacon and toast with tomatoes, almost like an English breakfast. You could argue it's an healthy English breakfast, so no complaints there. At lunchtime, meatballs in gravy. Now these was actually homemade meatballs that I'd done with a gravy and a little bit of spaghetti. So it's very nice. We don't really have that much pasta, and to have it now and again, you do really appreciate it. So it was very good, very nice. In the afternoon, I just had bread and butter. I don't know why, it's just, I think it's, the fact is that bread isn't really part of the plan. This is kind of pushing it and having an additional treat. And bread and butter just seems like a really old-fashioned food. It's the sort of food that I kind of miss. So I just fancied it. So bread and butter, and then a packet of skips. And then for the evening meal, it was the good old-fashioned BLT, bacon, lettuce and tomatoes, followed by gin and tonic, equaling 1,661 calories. Thursday, back to the fruit and fibre which I'd had on week 1. It's just fruit and fibre with milk. Nice little breakfast. I do tend to go for 80 grams on these. Recommended is 40, but I do tend to go for 80. And for dinner it was chili beef, mushrooms and peppers as a pizza. Yes, it was pizza. It was homemade pizza. Now, I haven't actually done a video on this. This is probably the most healthiest pizza I've ever come across. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I must do a video. I've actually had a lot of requests to do this video over on Facebook. But nevertheless, it was pizza for dinner. Skips as an afternoon tea or an afternoon snack. And then in the evening, it was ham and mushroom omelette. Really with a lot of leftover peppers from the pizza. But they had already been accounted for. Plus peppers are low calorie. And mushrooms. A bit more gin and tonic, and that came to 1,556 calories. I did only have half the pizza, but if you have half a pizza, you're easily looking 900 calories. So it does show the benefits of home cooked food, rather than processed food or food from a takeaway. Friday, skinny marmalade and toast. Yep, skinny marmalade was back. Up that stuff. And then for dinner, it was chicken meatballs. Now, this time it was out of a can, so this is processed food. And it was nowhere near as good as the homemade one, but it kind of filled you up. It was what it was. No snack in the afternoon. And at night, it was pie, chips, veg, and gravy. Now, once again, I kind of touched this on week 0, week 1, is that cut down the chips, have the pie. The pie's the main thing. And just substitute some of the chips with some gravy, with some vegetables. And then the gravy just kind of brings it all together, as gravy does. And then in the evening, gin and tonic. Saturday morning, I was just really busy, so I ended up skipping breakfast. Shouldn't do really. That is definitely a no-no rule on this change of lifestyle. Now, the target's £2 this week, as it is every week, but maybe if I skip breakfast, it'll go in my benefit. However, going back to the jacket spud and the jacket spud video, it was jacket spud with cheese and it in a steak, so it's processed steak again. It was half a tin, my daughter had the other half. Very nice. If you haven't tried this, then give it a try. It's well worth giving it a go. And then in the evening, pork loin with mashed potatoes and veg. And I think I'm just trying to get rid of the pork loin out the freezer. But pork loin's beautiful. It's low calorie. It's really nice. And to have it with mashed potatoes and vegetables isn't too bad. And weekly on week 1 is that he had extra dry, so he had some over 2 days. It's weekend again, so gin and tonic and then a couple of glasses of red wine. Yeah, I had the bottle to myself. That was the thing. So on Friday in the evening, I had gin and tonic and a bottle of red wine to myself. Now, I know that I'm cutting back on the calories, so I didn't go too mad. This was the bottle. And as we see, it's not quite as big as what maybe you'd have thought it would have been. But it's very nice, and that came to 1,525 calories. Sunday, for breakfast, finish off with skinny marmalade on toast. Chicken legs with roast spud and sprouts for dinner, so it's kind of like a cut down Sunday dinner. In the afternoon, an ham sandwich, because again, I think we had dinner about 1 o'clock, and this was about 5, but we know I was having a late tea. And then for tea, vegetable curry with rice. Now, with this veg curry, it was something that I'd frozen. It was homemade, but they felt like there was quite a lot of it. But, you know, it seemed okay. And then gin and tonic, which came to 1,605 calories. Going back through this list, the target was 1,781 on the calories, and that was just about achieved on every single day. Every day was under. It was very good. I didn't have the liver tonic for help. And once again, I didn't go for the stomach tonic. I didn't really feel hungry enough to have the stomach tonic in the evening. Maybe I should have done. Not quite sure. But the other bonuses, looking at the step target, on Monday it was 10,376. Tuesday was 10,064. Wednesday was 10,031. Thursday was 10,633. And then Friday was 10,152. Now, what was interesting about this is that I've been going around the block, as we said in week 1, But I kind of went, right, what happens if I do 2 blocks? That feels good. Right, what happens if I do 3 blocks? That feels good. So what I was finding is that by kind of wandering around the local estate, rather weirdly, is that I was actually doing further and further walking wise and feeling better for it. Now what I decided to do on Saturday was go shopping, and the shops is actually a good 30 minutes walk from home. And once again, to get there and back is an hour's walking. Now I felt recently is that I couldn't do that, call me back. I'm not sure it would actually last an hour. So I decided to try it, off I went, achieved it, got some shopping, came back home. The result of that, I did 15,020 steps, which me thinking at this moment in time has got to go towards weight loss. That's got to be a good thing. And then Sunday I finished off with 11,973, which once again was over the target. So just to summarise that, we can see that the food target was 1,781 calories and the step target was 10,000. And all of that was achieved on every single day. And all the steps was met. I didn't fall asleep this week, which was pretty cool. And I think I did very well with the food. So the next thing to do, and as always, is jump on the scale and see how much weight we've lost. And as we've just seen there, that comes in at 18 stone 10. If I convert it, that works out at £262. I'll put that in as start of week 3 weight is £262 there, which is £2 lost. Now that to me initially is good. It's very good. I've hit the target. The target's £2 each week. I've actually hit that target, so that's really, really good. And that's the main thing to think of. And of course, if we now have a look at the £2 line itself, even though we only lost £2 this week, we did very well in week 1. So we are still under the line, which is what we want to see. So all good up to now. I kind of up to I lost a little bit more, you know, 'cause I did a bit more walking and I've kept under the calorie count each day. But after saying that, you know, I'll have to have a think. I'll put it in my conclusion. But it's a £2 weight loss. That is a great weight loss. Once again, go to the supermarket, get some sugar, lift that bag up, a kilo bag of sugar. That's how much has been lost this week. That isn't bad at all. So I'll leave it there. I'll have a think about this, and up next will be my conclusion for week 2. What did I feel about week 2? Well, I lost £2, which is brilliant. That's bang on target. Much better than the £6 the week before. If we lose the weight too quickly, it's going to come back on. But in despair this morning, it was like, sack it, I'll just have a pot of noodle for breakfast, get the bread out. Who cares? But then, you have to do what I did, which is really, really think, how could it have gone wrong? Didn't go wrong, it was £2. £2 lost is brilliant. But how could it have been better? And the big secret to this is by going back to the food diary. So, in week 1, I had bread 3 times, totaling 6 slices. It's just that I like bread. You know, this is not a diet. I don't want to go with something which I love. You know, it's as simple as that. But having 6 slices, you know, even though the books tell you not to have any, is a good compromise for me. Looking in this week, week 2, I had bread 8 times, which totaled 11 slices, which is really taking the mick, you know. 6 slices is pushing it, going for 11 slices, a little bit too much. If we look at the diary, you can see cheese on toast, ravioli on toast, Wednesday, more toast, bacon lettuce on bread, love that. But more bread, toast. So the first thing what you can do, And what I can do is be conscious about how much bread that I'm having. Like I said this morning, when I felt like giving up, I just went, oh, 2 bread pot noodle. So I've already had 2, and limit to another 4 this week. Even better, be more conscious, and limit it to just the 2. We'll see what happens on week 3. The second problem what I had was the body needs to regenerate, help to maximise weight loss. I was actually up till 3 o'clock in the morning one day, one night, just doing videos, video editing, things like that, which is a little bit silly. You know, if you're going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, then you're up at 8, you've only got 5 hours, your body needs at least 7 hours to repair itself, therefore maximise weight loss. The next thing what I didn't do, once again breaking the book's rules, is I didn't have the stomach tonic. I felt fine each day, even though I was within calories, but you know, perhaps it's time to introduce that, which will come on a little bit later on. The next thing I pick up on the diary is that the book says never skip breakfast on Saturday. That's exactly what I did, was skip breakfast. That's not a good idea. It doesn't seem a big thing. It really doesn't. But it is. You cannot skip breakfast on this plan. Are you tempted to? I did. Can't do it. One of the reasons why you can't skip breakfast is, as soon as you eat, your body goes, I have to now burn this food off. I've got to reserve energy. If you don't eat all day, your body's going, oh, you know, I've got to do things, but I've had no food. I'm being starved, so therefore I'm going to store as much as what I can. Equally, you get tonight, and if you've had a late night, you know, you've skipped breakfast, you're going to feel hungry at night, you're going to eat more. Don't know. Never skip breakfast. I did. I kind of regret it now, in a funny sort of way. The next thing is, I felt fine. Throughout this week, I felt absolutely fine. I didn't feel hungry at night, but then when come to think of it, there was probably a few things which I didn't log. So looking at this, if we spin out a little bit, Wednesday I had some crackers with butter on, which I didn't log. I thought, well, if you lost 6 pounds the week before, surely that's not going to hurt. Probably about 11 o'clock at night, right in the danger zone if you've read the book, and it's only a couple of crackers and a bit of butter. It won't hurt. I think it did. Equally, as we move down, and we get to Saturday, I think this was part of the late night where, once again, the crackers, what possible harm could it do? And, you know, that was another foregone. Looking back, it's silly. You suddenly start to realise that you are forming new habits, but even if you're not really alert, the old habits can creep in very easily. And this is a brilliant example. On Sunday, we had the veg curry. Veg curry was just frozen. It was a frozen meal. I kind of worked out that we'd done this all made. We divided it by 3. And, you know, kind of tried to work out what the ingredients were and the calorie count. Looking back, I got that wrong, so what I've had to do is just fully calculate it. And then equally, in the afternoon, I had a ham sandwich. At night, got a bit peckish. About 50 grams of ham left. Thought, yeah, we'll have that. But of course, put it on a sandwich again. More bread. Night, danger zone. Not good. So, moving over here, we had something unlocked and ham sandwich. That's what the calculator said. And we had crackers and butter. And watching this, you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't make much difference. Well, actually it does. Mainly because if you're night eating, if you're eating past 8:30 at night, if you're up at 8 in the morning, even 8:30 at night's pushing it, we shouldn't be eating then. Drinks, yeah, fine. Alcohol beverages, if you really want to, fine. But food, no, and especially sweet food is definitely no. What other mistakes did I make? Well, the gin and tonic. I have a couple of them at night. You know, it's been a long day, you want to relax. Let's get the tonic out. Now, if you're going for low calorie tonic water, it's great. Looking at brand versus brand books. 1 calorie a glass, can't go wrong. However, you can go wrong with the gin. I went for a Gordon's gin, which is the best if you want to lose weight. in calories. Fantastic. Looking at Fitness Pal, it was 25 millilitres per shot. I just had a glass, and the glass which I was using was that, and thinking that was 25 millilitres. What I have done is weighed out 25 millilitres, which is that much. Even though I don't look it, that's actually 50, that's 25. So, in effect, for every time I've added gin, I've only calculated or added half the calories. So looking at the video that we just seen, it said that every single day I was within the calorie target of 1,781. Once I put it all back through, it's 1,994, 1,868, 2,281, 1,896, and it goes on and on. Every single day was over, rather than hitting the target, which makes it a bad week. So what was the lessons learned from this week just by looking at the food diary? Eating bread too much, try and calm it down. Don't stay up too late. 3 o'clock in the morning is a bit silly, especially if you want to lose weight and you want your body to get thinner. Measure gym rather than filling glass and calling it just one measure. Easily done, easily done. Be more honest with food. Be more honest with food logging. Red bits. Introduce the stomach tonic. Now, in the book it does say have stomach tonic about 3 times a week. It stops you feeling hungry. I didn't feel hungry that week. I didn't realise that, you know, the snacking, the extra sandwich, the crackers. So this week we're going to try and have it at least twice. If you're not hungry, it don't matter, just have it at least twice about after your tea. So if you have your tea at 7, yeah, about 8:30, 9 o'clock. See if that helps. Never skip breakfast again, already covered. And keep walking to 10,000 to 11,000 steps. The reason why that's there is because if you're walking and you do excess walking, then you're building up muscle, and muscle is at least 2 to 1 in weight against fat. So when we've had these last 2 days here, which is brilliant, we've had 15,000 steps, 11,000 steps, nearly 12,000. It's great to do that, but you are going to build up muscle, therefore you're going to weigh heavier at your weekly weighing. So one good thing about this plan is you can learn from it. It's really important that you keep the food diary. You can print them off, you can go through them like I've just done now. You can get a reality view. What can I do now? Well, week 1 is a full non-treat week with daily exercise. Goes week 2. Week 1 was in calories and within exercise. Week 2, obviously I've gone over the calories. Really lucky to have lost the 2 pound, to be honest. Came on this video disappointed I lost the 2 pound, and I'm thinking, you know, I have said all along this plan's forgiven. If you look at the naughty weeks, doing all sorts of stuff, and he was still trying to lose the weight. It is very, very forgiven. Now it's up to me to respond and actually improve what I'm eating and what I'm doing. So kind of come on and disappointed, but now I'm really thrilled that I've lost them 2 pounds.
Week 3. It is time for a treat.
So we're now moving on to week 3. We already know by jumping on the scales is that we're now down to 262 pounds, or 18 stone 10. We're starting at 270 pounds, which is 19 stone 4. So really, within 2 weeks, we're now down to 18 stone 10, which is quite a lot of weight to lose, especially on the first week, but we'll see how we go on this 3rd week. So the first thing to do is open the BMR spreadsheet, which is still showing us at 262 pounds. We was 264 pounds last week, so we just need to change that to 262. And what this will do is change the calories from 1,781 to 1,770. Once again, just think of the sugar syndrome. Go and get a kilo bag of sugar, it's 2.2 pounds. If you're losing that much weight, the food slowly comes down. Also, you're probably used to eating 2,000-3,000 calories a day, so by actually reducing the weight down, the calories down slowly but surely, with the aid of the liver tonic on the first week and then the stomach tonic throughout the rest of the week. You know, it doesn't sound like a lot of calories, but it's easily achievable. And as I always say, and I always will, get the brand versus brand weight loss book, or go online and have a look at brand versus brand, because that's a great tool where you can eat the same food but eat far less calories. That is absolutely brilliant. So you've got a good toolbox here. So we're having 1,770 calories. And if we know if we go to the £2 line, we put in our start weight, which is £264 for last week. This is week 3, so we need £262 start weight, and that's going to give us a target of a further 10,000 steps. So these 10,000 steps should be fine. A couple of times around the block each day, and then off to the shop and back, which is easily covering the 10,000 steps. You tend to get an urge at night to do a couple of additional laps, but we want to try and keep it just over the 10,000 steps if possible. If you're just under and you're struggling a little bit, keep going. Don't worry about it. You know, on the naughty step for doing 9,500. Just keep going. As time progresses, the weight will come off. It's going to make the walking far easier. So on week 3, it's slightly different. Weeks 1 and 2 are really power weeks. Really, to be honest, week 1 is more of a short week. We're used to being in the house, just having snacks, not really caring about what we're eating. And we're suddenly doing 10,000 steps a day, every single day. And we lose weight. In week 2, once again, we're trying to be careful with what you're eating. Even I made mistakes in week 2 and ate more than, or drank more than what I thought I was having. However, you know, this plan is quite kind. Unlike diets, this lifestyle plan is kind to you, and it still allowed me to lose £2 in weight. And once again, that's doing the 10,000 steps every day, and equally trying to reduce the amount of food that you eat from a calorie perspective, but still eating all your favourite foods from a personal perspective, which is a lot better. So you're not feeling deprived, you're still having the foods that you love, but we're able to lose weight, which is a brilliant achievement. However, week 3, like I say, is slightly different. And what we're going to do now is, wise we need to do this now 5 times out of the 7. Yep, we're cutting down the walking. It sounds crazy, I know, but this is how it works. Instead of doing 10,000 steps every single day, we're going to do 10,000 steps for 5 days. Now, the other 2 days, we want to really target 6,000 steps. And this is simply because with 6,000 steps, you are going to keep an health level. If you suddenly went from 10,000 steps a day to nothing, then you're really going to struggle. You're going to go, I really need these steps, I really need to do something, because the habits are forming. Doing 6,000, you're keeping everything going, you're maintaining the habits, plus also 6,000 steps per day is going to keep you healthy. Simple as that. And this is what we've all been waiting for. Food wise, we're going to stick to the calories allocated, which for week 3 is 1,770 for 6 days. I want you to pick one day in advance and go absolutely ballistic. Pretend that you're not on the plan. You don't have to calorie count. Just, this is my free day, whatever it is. Pick a day of your choice. Doesn't really matter. So what I've done for week 3 is decided that my free calorie day is Thursday, because we're still in lockdown, and it's not like we're going out at weekend or anything. And what I'm going to do is relax the walking also on Thursday. You probably get the critics saying, oh, well, you know, you're eating more, but you're still doing 10,000 steps. That balances off. So we're going to reduce the walking on a Thursday, calorie-free day Thursday, and reduce the walking on a Sunday. So what we want to do now is go through what food was eaten. While we're doing that, because I'm feeling much better now, I'm feeling far more confident with this weight loss, what I've achieved in just 2 weeks, is that I'm going to freshen up while we go through the food, and I'll see you later. So Monday, it's breakfast time, and if you've watched last week's video, As you can tell, I think I mentioned it, I was extremely cheesed off. I thought, you know, I've only lost £2, felt a little bit down. So we started breakfast with pot noodle and 2 slices of bread. Then at dinner time, I kind of realised what I'd done and got it wrong on week 2. Well, not wrong, but not as accurate as what I wanted to do, and kind of felt relieved is that I'd actually lost the £2. So we went for cheese and onion toaster. It's quite nice. We still got the bread around, so we have to get rid of this bread or have homemade bread. Then there was no snack. For lunch, it was pepper mushroom cheese omelette. And for the evening stuff, we're keeping the alcohol going, so it was gin and tonic, coming to 1,706 calories. Tuesday, scrambled egg with tomatoes. We've dropped the bread, which is good. That was part of the point. So we dropped the bread. We got the beef casserole for dinner. We had some skips in the afternoon. And then we had a Slimwell meatball and pasta with garlic bread. Now, my daughter wanted the garlic bread because she had a big pizza, so I pinched a couple of slices. Basically, Slimwell is kind of Weight Watchers type meal, or a Slimming World type meal, but it's the Aldi version. And they're worth trying. Some of them can be a little bit watery. This one was particularly nice. Finished off with gin and tonic, which came to 1,774 calories. Wednesday, I just had an apple in the morning. For breakfast, something really different. For dinner, shepherd's pie made with sirloin steak, so it was an homemade shepherd's pie. Skips in the afternoon, the minestrone soup with bread. And then finished off with gin and tonic. So at this point, I've kind of slowed down from, oh, who cares? And I didn't really feel that much hungry in the evening, so I just had minestrone soup and just a little bit of leftover bread. That came to 1,611 calories. Thursday, we had scrambled egg, we had tomatoes for breakfast. For lunch, we had leftover shepherd's pie with roast spuds and gravy. Then in the afternoon for a snack, we had popcorn. Then it was a corn snack, which I kind of come across and I was curious about trying it. And then also some chocolate puffs, something nice and sweet. Later on I had a cheese sandwich, was feeling a little bit peckish. And then it was off to the chippy. Finished off that evening with a gin and tonic, and then I thought, oh, nope, it's Thursday, it's treat day, so we'll have a bottle of wine. An entire bottle of wine. Number of calories, absolutely no idea. Friday, okay, I'll come clean. I did actually count it all up, and when I finished, that came to 3,365 calories. But it doesn't matter, because it was my free day, Thursday, my calorie-free day. Friday, fruit and fibre. For breakfast, for lunch, homemade tomato sauce on pasta, which was quite nice. Followed by skips as a treat in the afternoon, and then a tuna salad with olive oil, which I've kind of found a spray olive oil, which is quite nice. So we had lettuce, tomatoes, probably olives on there, various other things, bit of garlic mayo. Very nice tuna salad basically, very low calorie. And then finished off with gin and tonic, and that came to 1,670 calories. For Saturday, fruit and fibre. For breakfast, pork loin and broccoli with mashed potato. For dinner, skips. I will get rid of these skips one day. I have no idea how many was in that bag what I bought, but I will get rid of these skips one day. And then for evening meal, it was boiled egg salad with lemon and olives, which was really, really good. I know it's 2 salads in a week, but a lot of salad stuffing. Cucumber, tomatoes, lettuce, so a good way of getting rid. And Saturday, I had stomach tonic. In the evening, gin and tonic after all, it's Saturday, but that came to 1,644 calories. Sunday, toast and marmalade. I've still had bread, but I have cut it down a lot, which is what I wanted to do. I also had jacket spud with steak, which is quite a nice little meal. And once again, the jacket spud is the super speed jacket spud that I've featured on these videos before, or I was on the channel before. And then I thought I'd finish off with beef ravioli on a piece of toast with stomach tonic again. Now, the stomach tonic does really suppress your appetite. So after I'd had the gin and tonic, it all came down to 1,417 calories, which was quite good. My diary at the start of the week basically was blank, once again putting me 1,770 calories. Put in my current weight and I've got a steps target of 10,000. I have made a note on Thursday that it's my 3 calorie day. I've highlighted that there. And once filled in, my diary simply looks like this. And what I can do by going through this list was realise is that Tuesday I went over by 4 calories. 4 calories. Wednesday I was under, Thursday didn't matter, but I was well over at 3,365. Friday, 1,670. Saturday, 1,644. And then Sunday, 1,417. Now that Sunday calorie count is a result of the stomach tonic. Looking at the steps, we had 10,264, 10,036, 10,440. Thursday is once again the free day, so I weren't going for the 10,000. I did get 7,238. It's good. Friday was 11,641. Once again, you find it's like if you don't do 10,000, you kind of miss it, and you do end up doing a few excessive steps on the following day. Saturday it came down again to 10,379, and then Sunday it was 6,245. Now what I have done as well is made the notes, so reduce eating bread, which I feel that I did. Don't stay up too late, 3 AM is silly. I think I stayed up until 1 AM one night, but not as late until 3 o'clock in the morning. I have been measuring the gin rather than filling the glass, which was a major mistake on week 2. I have been more honest with food logging, so this is actually a genuine log. Sunday I kind of struggled a little bit because I wanted to get this up a little bit more, but I was really struggling because of the stomach tonic. Introduced stomach tonic in week 3 at least twice, so I've achieved that. I've had it Saturday and Sunday. Never skipped breakfast again. I don't think that I did. No. Closest I came to was having an apple, which actually gave me toothache as well. I think he had bad headache as well, something like that. But it was the apple. I'm waiting for a tooth to be extracted, and that just really irritated it. I've not skipped breakfast, so I've taken that on board and keep walking up to 10 to 11,000 steps. Otherwise, if you do more, then the muscle will build too quickly. So all these little notes I've done for myself, which is quite good. What we can do now is just summarise what we achieved. So looking at this, once again we're on week 3. We had 10,000 steps to hit the target for. The calories were 1,770. This was achieved apart from Tuesday, where it was 4 calories over. I mean, that is a really good effort. 100 over is a really good effort. 4 calories over is very, very good. Thursday didn't matter, but Wednesday, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the goals was achieved. Thursday don't matter. And once again on the walking, all that was achieved, apart from Thursday and Friday, Thursday and Sunday. And once again, that was intentional. So there we go. So basically, that was week 3. Now the big question is, and we always say this, the scales never lie. So it's time to jump on to see what our end week 3 weight is and what the weight is going to be going into week 4. So there we have it. So this week now, end of week 3, going into week 4, a £5 loss. That is brilliant. I cannot complain at all about that. That is exactly, £2 target, £5 loss. So we've had a £6 loss, we've had a £2 loss on target, and now we've had a £5 loss. And the beauty about this is now, if you're keeping hold of the diary sheets as I've got here, we have now got a £6, £2, £5 loss, a record of how we did it. Now how goodly the £2 can be thrown, but now you've got your own personal diet plan. You don't need to go to Weight Watchers and things like that. Your own personal diet plan where you can lose a decent amount of weight. Even if you repeated eating this, you would be doing quite well. We know that the calorie count will come down, but around that type of food, plus also week on week, your stomach's going to start to shrink. So you're going to require less anyway. It is an absolute win-win. But going back to the £2 line, if we put a new weight in there, which is £257, which is the equivalent of 18 stone 5. So 18 stone 5 is a start weight for week 4. That is our target, 262, and for each 257. But looking at the £2 line tab, we can see that we are well under. We have even arguably got a scope to have issues, have a bad week. We don't know. We don't want to. We want to carry on doing what we're doing and get rid of this weight. And it's coming up very, very nicely. And of course, what is a massive bonus for me is I am now under the lockdown weight. So reality is dead simple, is that I was in lockdown for 9 weeks. In that time, I put on about £7. I started doing this plan again. Within 3 weeks, we've lost £13. £1 short of a stone in 3 weeks. That 2 weeks of not being able to go out, having exercise issues because you only had one shot at it, and I couldn't do the full hour because of COVID-19. So, and obviously you just sat there going, I don't want to do, worry, blah, 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 let's snack, let's do this, let's do that. And I think on Thursday, eating over 3,000 calories is probably at least, if not more, what I was eating in those first couple of months. To actually shed 2 months worth of overindulgence and lack of exercise and condense that in 3 weeks as a weight reversal, we have nearly lost the full stone in 3 weeks. That's incredible. I've been on lots of diets in the past, that's never happened. But like I constantly say, this isn't a diet, this is now a lifestyle change. And if you can keep this up for the rest of your life, you're going to be a lot healthier and you're going to get rid of your diabetes. You're going to, suppress worries of your heart attacks and things like that. And by eating clever foods such as tomatoes, and with the exercise, you're going to build your resistance up, you're going to build your immunity up, and you're going to build your resistance up to things like cancer. It's an absolute win-win. So what I'm going to do now, as always, is have a few thoughts about this. I'll pop back, conclude the video, and then get ready for week 4. My thoughts on week 3 is, now what we're doing is having a conscious thought in week 0, then really going from a relaxed or even lazy situation where we're gaining weight, and we're reversing that very quickly in week 1. Now, as we complete week 1, week 2, psychologically, you are making the effort to lose weight and to improve your health. You have a subconscious, and what that's doing is constantly looking at how much energy is coming in, and the calories are coming in, and how much energy is being burned. And what it will do is compensate for what's happening. So it's an amazing thing to actually have days off a lifestyle. You still follow the 17 habits, but you have this shock of there's a sudden increase in food. Now the subconscious is kind of going, oh right, okay, in this situation something's going to happen. You know, we're going to have a life-threatening situation in effect. And then when that's accommodated later by the reduction in steps from the 10,000 to 6, or somewhere in between, it completely confuses the body. It's saying, well, hang on a minute, we just had all this energy, surely that we're going to go in a situation where it's life-threatening. That's the reason why I've had so much stuff. And then suddenly you go into a relaxed situation. And it really, really does work. And all that the critics say, it doesn't, the critics to say, in effect, you're on a diet, have 3,000 calories, it's ridiculous, then you reduce your exercise, how can that possibly work? It works because it fools the subconscious, and by reading the Power Plan book, even reading the book, it's written in such a way that critics will say, oh, it's not the best written book in the world. It's not intended to be. It's written to actually play with that subconscious mind so it can't really get an angle on what's going to happen. By week 3, it's happened, it's shocked it. So you've shot the body in week 1 and 2, and in week 3 you've shot the mind, and that is an incredible thing. It's an unusual thing. It's probably unique to this plan. It is really, really good. Going back to the diary, I've already set this up ready for week 4, and we're on £257. But what I've done is they've come down a little bit, and we had bullet points which were saying, careful of eating bread, don't stay up too late, things like that. There's about, I don't know, 8 points. What I've done is kept 4 points on, which is still never skip your breakfast again. Introduce stomach tonic in week 3, should be week 4. This is how live these videos are, you know, we're literally going into it now. We just need to change that to week 4. Don't stay up too late, 3 o'clock's still silly, and be careful eating bread. And I can still have these as little points to myself as we go through week 4. I have got a major concern, but we'll talk about that next week. The only thing I can say is it's a great week. Nearly losing a stone in 3 weeks. Absolutely incredible.
Week 4. New lifelong habits.
Interestingly enough, it doesn't feel like 4 weeks. It feels like it's gone pretty quickly, which is a good thing. I had that huge weight loss last week, which is pretty good. To actually lose 5 pounds in 1 week, and especially 3 weeks into a new lifestyle, is far better, it would feel, than being on a diet where you will get weight loss straight away. So you might get 4 pound, then 3 pound. You generally balance off around 2 pound, but then by week 6, 7, you're probably, you know, breaking even or struggling a little bit. But that's fine, because most people who do diets for about 5 or 6 weeks. So, quite a lot of weight loss in the first week, a couple of pounds in the second, quite a lot in the third week. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, simple as that. So, what concerns me this week is that we've got the ban on menthol cigarettes, and I do smoke occasionally, just to relieve stress, which is, you know, a little crux of mine. Not having cigarettes, it's obviously a worry that you're going to eat more, which wouldn't be good. And I'm kind of really low on vape juice as well, so that's not going to help. So that's a bit of a concern if I start to overeat. And equally, there's a wine offer. You can get £80 off a box of wine or a case of wine. 12 bottles, they all look very nice, very lovely. Yes, I'm very much tempted, you know, to have these. I might do a wine review on the channel, who knows, but yes, wine isn't good for weight loss. Gins, wine, nah. Well, there we go, that's what we're worried about. Anyway, week 4. So, target weight loss this week, £2. At the end of week 3, the start of week 4 weight is already known. It was £262. By weighing myself, I now know I'm £257, or 18 stone 5. We'll come down to the weight converter, put 18 stone 5 in there. That gives us £257. We go up to current weight, up in 257 there. And that's going to change the number of calories, which was 1,770 to 1,741. The interesting concept behind this is that it's just 30 calories less. You know, we're reducing this week by week by week, very, very slowly. A few less calories isn't a great deal, and by this time, our stomachs have shrunk, the appetite's been reduced. So 1,741 calories can actually feel quite a lot compared to when we started this, and you see that you're well under 1,800 calories or around that, and it's, oh, when we're going to cope. So hopefully we'll have far more confidence now, is that is very much an achievable target. So now if we go to our food diary for this week, I've already blanked it out, so I've done is copy week 3, blanked out what was eaten and the number of steps done, and we are week 4, 1st of June, 1,741 calories, start weight 257 pounds, step target's 10,000, and we know that's 10,000 steps because we've already entered our 257 pounds for the start of week 4, which this £2 line spreadsheet has already told us it's 10,000 steps. So, as ever, the big question is, what did I actually eat this week? And how did we do with the weight? Obviously, when we do this exercise, we are still using all the habits in the book, and these habits will maximise weight loss during this process. So, let's get on with it. So, for Monday, we had a tin of tomatoes and scrambled egg, which is nice, light, nice little breakfast. For dinner, fresh salmon. So I think this is the first time I've actually had fish. Maybe not, I don't know. Fresh salmon with sprouts and gravy. If you read my book, I've got a bit of a passion for sprouts. Sprouts and gravy, I love it. No afternoon snack, but jacket spud with coleslaw and cheese for the evening dinner. And then a few gin and tonics. We're still trying to keep alcohol in this to see if it's possible to lose weight by partaking in alcohol. And that came to 1,772 calories. Tuesday for breakfast, I got some Weight Watchers bars. So we had two, well, I said bars, more like cake. So we had 2 chocolate cakes or 2 chocolate slices from Weight Watchers. No morning snack. For dinner, I went for a mini cut breakfast, which is sausage, scrambled eggs, tin of tomatoes, garlic mushrooms, and it was very nice too. Kind of missed the toast on this, but it was very nice. Late afternoon snack was a packet of Skips. Yes, it's still got some out of that multi-pack, and a banana. And in the evening, it was the good old-fashioned liver bacon and mash, which is a ready meal, very low in calories, great if you can eat offal, it's very, very good for you. I also had a bit of skinny ketchup, which wouldn't have tilted the calories that much, but makes it far better. And then I had cheese, bread and butter. Nice bit of cheese with bread and butter, very old-fashioned. And gin and tonic. And that come to 1,894. Now, interestingly, on these 2 days I've been slightly over, but once I said before is that I had an issue about not having these cigarettes. So therefore, it's not only are you trying to keep to the number of calories, but it's also the worry of, you know, how we're going to do with the vape when we've got very little vape juice. It's all stressful. Wednesday, Weight Watchers chocolate bar and banana for breakfast. Went to the shop at dinner time and it actually had some cigarettes in. Haha. So for dinner, it was tin of chilli with couscous. Nice and simple, dead easy to make. Afternoon snack was Skips and cheese with bread and butter. For the evening meal, it was minty lamb chunky soup. And I think I kind of did myself here. I had the cheese, bread and butter again. I was kept feeling very, very, very full that night. And then I had a small red wine, which was those little miniature bottles again, which is quite nice. Gin and tonic, and the stomach tonic, which we know suppresses appetite and reduces the stomach lining. And that came to 1,591 calories. Thursday, Weight Watchers lemon and chocolate slice this time. Mix it up a bit, because I did get 2 boxes. Must have been on offer or something. For dinner, chicken legs with mash, vegetables and gravy. No afternoon snack, obviously you're having a lot of veg there, so that's going to fill you up, so you're not going to be in the mood for an afternoon snack. and equally you had the stomach tonic the day before, which is going to fill you up. So, it's just indications that the stomach is becoming satisfied regardless of what the eyes see. And then in the evening, a mini breakfast, I'll call it, which is sausage, egg, and tin of tomatoes. And then in the evening, a couple of gins and tonics, and stomach tonic, which came to 1,722 calories. Friday, Weight Watchers lemon bar. Now, Friday was my food day off. As we had with week 3, you get 1 day off for food, and you get 2 days off for walking. So Friday was my day off. So I had Weight Watchers lemon slice in the morning, burger and sprouts with gravy for dinner, but then in the afternoon kind of had a small chip butter, I just fancied it. Afternoon snacks was bread and butter, skips and banana. In the evening, bacon sandwich, so you can see the bread suddenly come out. I'm probably missing the bread too much, so the bread suddenly come out. And we had some angel slices in. We normally have angel cake, but we had angel slice, so we had one of those. And then the wine delivery had arrived, so we had a bit of red wine, a bit of white wine, a bit of gin and tonic, which makes you really, really hungry. And then finished off with an ham cheese sandwich. So a lot of bread on that day. Didn't do myself any favours, but it's my day off, which means I can do what I want. Number of calories came to 2,864. Which is quite a lot, and I think a lot of it was with the wine. Saturday, Weight Watchers lemon cake again, trying to get rid of them at this point. Jacket spud with steak and cheese. Once again, very nice thing. That's becoming kind of one of the favourites, and if you watch the jacket spud video, you can make these things in about half an hour, and they taste absolutely gorgeous. In the afternoon, skips and homemade bread with toast. So I think at this point I've become a little bit over the top with you're eating too much bread again. Let's make our own. And that's what I did. And then in the evening, a nice stuffed peppers with cheese, with a chicken and boiled ham filling. And all of that's really, really low calorie. Really good if you want to lose weight. And then in the evening, I finished off the red wine. So there's a full bottle over the 2 days. And stomach tonic for the 3rd time this week, which is quite good. And that came to 1,531 calories. And on the final day, the Sunday, cheese and boiled ham on homemade bread for only 1 slice. Angel slice in the morning just because they look good, those in the fridge, and why not? Dinner time, chicken with mixed veg and bacon. So I kind of just fried the chicken up with the 1 cal oil, grilled the bacon, and then just put mixed veg with it. Really nice. In the afternoon, skips, and I'll get rid of these skips one day. And then for the evening meal, just a tin of beef ravioli. Nothing over the top, just a tin of beef ravioli, and that was it. And then in the evening, gin and tonic. And that came to 1,554. So looking at the food diary, we can also see the steps. So Monday was 10,300 steps, Tuesday was 10,129. Wednesday went to look a bit OTT, which is 12,165. Thursday 11,049. And then Friday was 10,034. Now, once again, on the plan, you can have 2 days off hitting your target, which is 10,000 steps. So I went for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But on both of these, I actually reached just above 7,000. So 7,191, 7,216. And like we said, we had the day off on the food on Friday, which actually came to 2,864. I think it was 1,653. Till I started messing with wine, and then I just thought, what the hell, let's have a cheese sandwich. So how did we do that week? So using my weekly performance spreadsheet, we can see is that Monday I went over slightly, Tuesday I went over. It was like I said, I was a little bit worried about things, However, Wednesday, Thursday, I succeeded with the food. I was below the calorie limit. Friday, I failed, but I didn't really because it didn't matter. It was my day off. So that doesn't matter. And Saturday and Sunday, I was back on target. Equally with the steps, Monday through to Friday, I was hitting the targets. Saturday and Sunday I didn't, but then was the 2 walking days off. So they don't count either. However, take notice I've gone over 6,000 steps, and doing this plan, even when you're finished and you've achieved your weight, you will be looking at still doing around 6,000 steps 5 days a week. That's how you maintain the plan moving forward. So all what's left now for week 4 is to jump on the scales. We've got a £2 target. Let's see how we did. So despite having wine, red wine, white wine, gin all week, and really on the day off pounding the bread, we still lost £2, so we're now down to £255. Going back to the £2 line spreadsheet, we can proudly put that in. And if we go to the £2 line, we can see that we're still on target. That's where we are, and we're still under the red line, which, you know, going on to week 5 now, achieving 4 weeks and going into week 5 is quite a feat. I've been on diets, I've been on many diets in the past, and none of that has achieved that sort of result. So that for me is quite exciting, it's good. So, as normal, I'll have a think about this week. Don't know. It was good. It was on target. It was £2 gone. A further £2 gone. I'm feeling a lot better and quite a bit more healthier. So what did I think about week 4? I hit the target. It seems common as if you're eating bread on days off or even through a monitor day, is that it's still storing, encouraging to store food, slowing it down, therefore more calories are absorbed, therefore weight control, especially weight loss, is more difficult. It's ideal if you wanted to gain weight to concentrate a diet around bread, concentrate a diet of late eating. But if you want to lose weight, the bread is still a problem, even on the days off. But after saying that, what we don't want to do is lose too much weight too quickly. We have lost nearly a stone in a month, which is a really, really good achievement. Slowing it down, and if you read the book, even Dr. Jesse said slow it down, see if we can get to around £2 a week. We've achieved that on week 4. So I would say I'm really looking forward to week 5. So another good week.
Week 5. Avoiding the dieting plateau.
One thing I must admit is that these weeks have gone extremely quickly. Extremely quickly, it's untrue. And now we're in week 5, the weather's gone much cooler outside, which I am absolutely over the moon about. I, like the next person, loves a bit of sun, but when we end up with sunny days after sunny days after sunny days, it does get me down. So really glad that the weather's calmed down. At the end of week 4, start of week 5, I was weighed and I was £255, which is another good £2 loss. Brilliant. So the first thing what we have to do now in week 5 is go back to the BMI spreadsheet. And on the spreadsheet, it was £257. We are now 18 stone 3, which is £255. So if we put that here, it tells us that the new calorie limit, daily limit, is 1,729. Once again, only a few less. It's not like we're dropping and suddenly becoming starved. We're just lowering it down, nice, gently, slowly, until we get in a position where, we've lost the weight that we want to lose. It's really good. So what I've done is gone back, created a new daily food and exercise diary. And this is week 5, so it's 1,729 calories. Start weight is 255 pounds, and the step target is 10,000. We know that from looking at the £2 line, we'd already put in the 255, which tells us it's 10,000 steps. So that's it, so we're all set. Now what I'm going to do this week is have Thursday off from food, eat what I like, and I'm going for Saturday and Sunday. In fact, I'll go for Friday and Saturday with reduced walking. So it's a day off walking, which means for a healthy lifestyle, we need to have 6,000 steps a day. That's our target. We're not going to go for the 10,000 steps. So, as always, let's see what was eaten this week, followed by how did we do? Right, so it's week 5 and it's Monday. On a Monday, we had fruit and fibre for breakfast. That was followed by 2 chicken legs with veg and gravy. As I've always said on these week's videos, it's like if you can find a veg that you really, really like, it's a great alternative to chips. It's going to keep the calories down. It's really going to help with this plan. Then for afternoon snack, we found Space Raiders. Yes, a proper 80s super duper snack. The sort of thing that used to dream about as children. And then for lunch we had 2 fried eggs with a tin of tomatoes. So once again, the eggs are full of vitamins and absolutely everything that your body needs, and the tomatoes keeps the calories low. Then at the evening we had the wine which was delivered in week 4. We decided to have some white wine, very nice too. A nice relaxing evening, just the wine. But the calorie count for Monday came to 1,640 calories. Tuesday, for breakfast, it was cheese on toast. That was followed for lunch with pork loin, mash and sprouts, and of course a little bit of gravy. Once again, if you get your veg which you like, find the gravy that you like. It's going to become extremely enjoyable to eat, and it does really keep the calories down. It's a complete win-win. So, in the afternoon, we had cheese with cream crackers, a little bit of butter on there, just a classic snack really. And then for evening meal, we had a tuna salad with lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, and garlic mayo. So, another salad. If we can keep the calories down at night, it's better. It does help for weight reduction. And then finishing off, gin and tonic, as usual, and that came to 1,594 calories. Wednesday for breakfast, we got the cream crackers, and a bit of butter. For breakfast, I decided not to bother with the cheese. We just stick with the cream crackers and butter. It's very nice. It's filling, so we didn't have a snack in the morning. For dinner, it was chicken curry with rice, which was very nice. I think it was a very, very nice homemade chicken curry. In the afternoon, we had cream crackers and butter again, so in effect just repeated breakfast. For evening meal, it was liver, bacon and mash. This is just like a ready-made meal from the supermarket. You find that this combination keeps the calories down to about 350 calories for the entire meal. And if you can have offal, if you like offal, then it's extremely good for you. It's extremely good for your health. It is optional on this power plan, but if you can eat it, it's low in calorie. It will do you the world of good. And we also had a couple of celebrations followed by gin and tonic. And that came to 1,620 calories. Thursday, looking forward to Thursday this week because it's midday off, as we've had on previous weeks. And Saturday and Sunday is going to be my walking day off. But today it's Thursday, so for breakfast they had Special K, cherry and chocolate. Now this was just a new thing at the supermarket, just fancied to try it, why not? And it was quite nice, it was good. Special K is meant to be helping with weight loss, never 100% certain of that, especially with the amount of sugar that we have in cereals, but we'll give it a go. So, no morning snack, and for dinner it was homemade steak casserole. Quite literally, fry the steak, 5 minutes aside, throw it in a slow cooker, put your veg in there, bit of water, couple of stock cubes, beautiful. And because you're having steak, is that there's no need at all for an afternoon snack. So in the evening, what I did was actually take the steak casserole from lunch and convert it into a shepherd's pie. I have a nice portion of shepherd's pie with sprouts and gravy, so no chips or anything. We've already got a little bit of carbs there, but we can use our favourite veg, in my case sprouts, and my favourite gravy, and it makes quite a nice meal. In the evening, it's my day off, so I just really wanted to chill out, so a couple of gins and tonics, and then I actually had martini dry. Now, martini dry, really nice drink. It is calorific, but if you want to chill out, that'll do it, especially with the gin. We also had these celebrations, and I'm not sure why we had celebrations, but there was hanging around, so I think he had 4 celebrations, and an ham butty for supper. So quite a lot of food there. Number of calories, once again, don't care. Well, we probably do care, but if we added that all up, it would come to 2,463. However, it was my day off, so it was 0 really. So Friday, back on the power plan, and for breakfast it was a ham butter or an ham sandwich, and that was followed by tomato cuppa soup. Now, cuppa soups, they're relatively cheap, they're really good. If you find the brand that you like and the ones which are low in calorie, to be honest, even between brands, the calorie difference is probably 10 to 25. But if you can find a soup that you like, just chuck it in a cup as a powder, put your water in it. It's pretty quick, it's pretty instant, and it can satisfy you. So lunchtime came along, and it was gammon with mixed veg and gravy. So having a break from the sprouts this time and going for mixed veg, which is fine. In the afternoon, chicken soup, celebrations, had 2 more of those. I think the problem is with if you end up having treats in the house, is that they're just there, they're tempting, and it's very, very easy just to dive in there and munch. So what you can do is, if you find that you've got chocolates or you've got something which is calorific and you're struggling, the best thing to do is just literally move them out of sight. So when you see them, you got, I fancy one of those. So if you can't see them, you're not going to be tempted, or at least you're going to be less tempted. And if you can't do that, bung them in a cupboard somewhere. If you can't see them at all, just bung them in a cupboard, forget about it. You'll save a fortune at Christmas and things. You just got, I want celebrations, £5-6 a tub. Oh, there they are in the cupboard, excellent. Job done. In the evening, went for a nice ham and mushroom omelette. Now, ham is low in calories, mushrooms low in calories. Eggs are really good for you. It's packed of vitamins. You really can't go wrong. Ham and mushroom omelette for the evening meal, and a couple of gin and tonics at night, and that came to 1,764 calories. Saturday, so we're going back to the Special K, cherry and chocolate. Once again, we tried it. It's okay. It's nice. I didn't go into, is it going to be good for weight loss? It's just a nice thing. No morning snack, so it does show things like Special K. It does actually fill you up because you're not tempted with a snack in the morning, so that's pretty good. So for dinner, we had pasta, chili con carne, with 5% mince, and there was onion and mushroom there. Yeah, it's just a nice homemade little meal. It's tasty, great, it's lovely. I think we used the on sauce, which we promoted on the channel. I'll put a thumbnail up for that. If you go and have a look at Back in the Kitchen at wecan'tspellsuccesswithoutyou.com, give it a try, and then either email in or let us know what you thought. In the afternoon, a nice slice of bread and butter. It just seems that I can never, ever, ever escape the bread. But, bread and butter, old-fashioned, nice. And then in the evening, I did something which is quite interesting. Now, because I made the chili at lunch, and I've added all the calories up for that one meal, I actually had some left over. So what I can do is use the leftover without counting the calories, because I've already counted them and added them for dinner. So what I did was use the leftover chili and put it on a spud, a jacket spud. And we've got a video about the jacket spud, done in 30 minutes, tastes great. But by doing it this way, we're cutting down on the calories because we don't want to count the calories twice. In the evening, followed by a gin and tonic, and Saturday's calorie total came to 1,610 calories. Sunday, we're in week 5. I think at one point I was thinking about doing these weeks for 6 weeks. I think week 5 is important because that's when most people either break even with weight or put weight on, especially on commercial diets. You just kind of hit a plateau. And equally, because we are in lockdown, they are changing the rules. So once again, as I explained on week 1, I think it was, is that with having a bad back, if they are now going back to, you have to have exercise sessions for a complete hour. I won't be able to do that. So in these videos, the proper week videos, it's been challenging because we have been in lockdown doing them. But equally, I want this to be a fair test. So that in effect makes this video week 5 and the final week. And I couldn't do a final week video without going back to the skinny marmalade on toast. Now, love it or hate it, and I have noticed that skinny products are now appearing in the shop. If you see skinny marmalade, give it a try. If you actually have gone onto our website and registered with them, and you're trying a few other products, give it a try. You will not be disappointed. Beautiful. No snack, so at lunchtime it was chicken leg with wedges, mixed veg and gravy. This is one of the interesting things, because you've got the veg, you're going to have less wedges, therefore you're going to have less calories. But if you are eating with family and they're kind of feeling a little bit uncomfortable because you're avoiding mainly the processed food, or it's just that you might be thinking, oh, I'm missing something, I just want, a few of those wedges. Even if you're worried about chicken and chicken legs, the only thing what you have to do to even reduce more calories is remove the skin. In the afternoon for a snack, it was bread and butter. And then for the evening and the final meal for the proper weeks, it had to be the gorgeous bacon BLT. If you look at the BLT video, I do the bacon differently. I actually do it in the microwave so that you remove all of the fat. But this is just basically 2 slices of bread with butter, washed lettuce, cut tomatoes, and the beautiful bacon from the microwave. Check out the video for that. It's really, really good. And what a way to end week 5 proper weeks. And then as always, we finished with a gin and tonic in the evening, and we actually had a bag of quavers. So one final treat. Hopefully it won't tip the scales too much. I mean, they are pretty much low in calorie. But of course, the 2 things what worries me for this particular week is the fact that it's week 5, so commercial diets, I personally, and I know a lot of people, will either plateau and not lose any weight at all, or even put a pound or 2 pound on. What I'm hoping for this week, being on the plan that it does it differently, so I do lose weight, or at the very least, I don't put any weight on and it stays the same as last week. But to finish off Sunday, it came to 1,586 calories. Stepwise, Monday was 10,732. Tuesday, once again, slightly over at 12,614. I think I'd actually went shopping and I ended up going to a couple of supermarkets, mainly because of queues, so a little bit more legwork there. Wednesday was 10,573. Thursday, I ended up having the day off because I just couldn't be bothered. It was meant to be Friday. Well, that came in at 9,263. Friday was 10,228. Now, Saturday, I intended to have it off from walking, just go for the 6,000. I didn't, it was 10,327. And on Sunday, which was my second attempt for my second day off, it was 12,789. And the main reason for that was I was making a veg patch in the garden. I was running to and fro, getting gravel, building this thing, demolishing beds to make a veg patch. And it all caught up with me. And, I just looked at the number of steps and went, oh, it's meant to be 6,000. But so once again, on this week, We've done more walking than what I expected to, and I believe I broke the calorie limit for one day. But we can double check that. Just looking through here, so Thursday was the non-applicable day, that was my day off. So I did go slightly over by about 40 calories on the Friday. Equally with the steps, I should have had Thursday plus Saturday or Sunday off. I've actually had Thursday off, but still very close to 10,000 steps. The only thing what worries me is when you're hitting 12,000 twice in a week, as we said on previous videos, is that muscle will weigh heavier than fat. Looking at that, I would say a good week. It's week 5, it's very difficult to lose any form of weight. So if I've broken even on this week, I'll be happy. But there's only one way to find out, and that's jump on the scales, because the scales never lie. So there we go, another £2 off. Surprised? Happy? Because that's our target. So we put in 253. That tells us straight away our start weight for week 6 is £253 or 18 stone 1, I believe. Let me go over to here, just bubble 1 in there. Yep, £253, 18 stone 1. Wasn't that long ago, I was over the 19, so I'm quite happy with that. Looking at the £2 line, and once again we're well under there. Even if we zoom into that, you know, we're doing very, very well. We're well under that line, which is what we want. So that was week 5, another interesting week, another £2 off. Definitely pleased with that. Let's have a think about this, see what my thoughts was, and it'll be, you know, what the conclusion I came to. So week 5, it's very, very simple. You expect to go into a plateau, you expect to at least break even, probably even put £1 on. Losing £2 at this stage, brilliant. I cannot complain at all on that. I was kind of convinced by Thursday or Friday, I felt a bit bloated, a bit gassy, and I was kind of convinced as I was putting weight on at that point. Don't know why. Really tempted to jump on the scales to see what was happening, but I didn't, and I ploughed on, and as we've just seen, £2 loss, can't complain. Every time you go on a diet, in traditional diets, what you discover around week 5 or week 6 is that you hit a plateau, and a plateau is basically, I'm almost at my target, I want to lose half a stone, I want to lose a stone, I just want to tone up, I want to look better for this event, which is coming up, wedding, holiday. I'm nearly there, so I kind of relax on the rules. Other people, they just find that the body adjusts very quickly, and it balances back, so in that situation you don't lose weight. It's a difficult thing to do, but to study diets, you always know that weeks 5, 6, 17, 19 are really, really difficult for people. So my thought is, you know, I mean, I'm not eating diet food, I'm not sticking with salads all the time, I'm eating pretty much what I want to. I think the only change really is the habits, and just putting a favourite veg on rather than carbs like potatoes and chips. It's not hard at all, you know, it's nice and straightforward. The habits support the actions of the food, you know, as described in the book. It is a really, really easy way of doing this. It's brilliant.
Power plan, your feedback matters. Weight reduction comments. I have diabetes type 2 and you made me feel better. I have lost 45 pounds with another 100 to go. God bless.
Well, what can I say? If you're using the book and you've achieved this, brilliant, keep going with it. If you've done this now for over 3 months, please go back to your doctor and ask him for the diabetes or the HbA1c retest. It has to be gaps of 12 weeks. So if you're beyond the 12 weeks, which if you lost 45 pounds, you probably will be, get that test done. And especially get it if you kind of feel like you're bursting with energy at this moment in time, because the diabetes type 2 medication can have that result if you don't need it at the level that you're on. And equally, if you've got a drop, possibly in normal range, But even if you're going back towards the pre-diabetic range, then it's peace of mind as well, and it will motivate you to get the other £100 off. So once again, brilliant, you're doing fantastic. Let's see what the blood levels are doing with the doctor, and more important than that, let's see what the doctor's advice is to see if we can reduce that medication, or even better, get you off it. That is some of the diabetes feedback that we've had. Absolutely brilliant. If you're doing the book, dead proud of you. Let us know your experiences. Let us know if you've got diabetes type 2, what you're struggling with. See if we can help, or at least advise. But one thing that we're not going to advise is give medical advice ever on this channel. The Power Plan book, which will give you a new lifestyle change, which is easily maintainable. It's going to be the easiest lifestyle change you've ever done, especially if you're used to dieting. And it's 100% natural and healthy. That's our job, my job, that's your job for following these videos and for following the book. Medical wise, that's the doctors and hospital jobs. It's a different job.
Our answers. When using your Power Plan diet, how much weight will I expect to lose?
Well, firstly, the Power Plan is not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, and a really easy to do lifestyle change, which I believe makes it unique. Using 17 habits, and you're not going on what you class as a diet. You're just changing your lifestyle using the 17 habits. So you would naturally, once you change your lifestyle or go on a diet, you're naturally going to lose a considerable weight in the first 2 to 3 weeks. So with the first 2 or 3 weeks, we'd expect you to lose between 3 and 7 pounds per week. Then what you find is that there is no end. If you change your lifestyle and you do it easily with the 17 habits, there is no need to stop them. So continued weight loss until you get to your actual targets would be expected is that you would lose weight around 2.63 pounds per week. Obviously, you're going to have good weeks and bad weeks. Generally, you will lose weight every single week, but some weeks you might only lose a pound or half a pound. But that will catch up very, very quickly. And there will be other weeks where you convince yourself is that you put weight on, and you do get quite a nice surprise when you do your weigh-in. So hopefully that has actually answered the question. So initially between 3 and 7 pounds a week, and then over time around 2.63 pounds per week.
What happened when I stopped using your Power Plan diet? How much weight will I expect to gain?
So we've actually done a video quite recently, which is saying is that you should lose between 3 and 7 pounds per week for the first 2 weeks. You could lose up to 14 pounds in the first 2 weeks. And then it will balance off at a weight loss of around 2.63 pounds until you reach your target. Now, if you're in a position where you want to ditch the 17 habits after 6, 10, 12 weeks, and you want to come off the Power Plan, word of warning is that good habits that the book promotes is very similar to bad habits. So to stop an habit, you generally and naturally will miss it. So to actually stop every single habit, it kind of makes it so like there's something missing in your life. So it's difficult to do that. However, the main thing is that if you do stop all the habits and you're strong enough to stop all the habits, once you've started and been on it for 6 weeks plus, this will result back into a weight gain. Now, looking at the weight gain, even though we've been losing 2.63 pounds per week, the weight gain generally seems to be 0.63 pounds. So this basically means is that you would lose around 18 pounds in the first 6 weeks of doing the Power Plan. However, when you stop doing the habits and stop following the Power Plan, to get back to your initial weight, it would take around 29 weeks to put that weight on that you've lost in the first 6 weeks. So it's not, and this is kind of where a lot of commercial diets are interested in this plan, because the weight doesn't come on faster than you lose it. In fact, it does take quite a considerable time to put the weight back on. Obviously, there are exceptions. I mean, if you overate and you was eating at buffets every night and you was actually eating ultra-processed food every day and having takeaways every day, then the weight gain will come back on quicker. This is from a view of you just stop doing the power plan habits and what the natural weight gain would be based on stopping those habits. So I hope that answers your question, and thank you for your interest.
If you have enjoyed this video, then please provide your support by liking this video and subscribing to this YouTube channel. If you are watching on Facebook, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thank you for viewing.